In January, I asked my Twitter followers what they hate most about flows. In startup world, there's a famous saying, your biggest source of learning is your dissatisfied customers. It is essential to shape your product based on customer feedback. I think the same principle applies to product management in big corporations. What do Flow users get most frustrated about? Salesforce Flow product team. If you are listening, I'm going to drop a link in the description below, and please go to that thread, it's gold for you. Now, I gathered all the feedback and I made up my own list, and I'm going to share with you the top 10 things I get most frustrated about. Don't get me wrong, I love building flows. Now, drum roll. The top 10 things I hate most about flows. Number 1, lack of wizards, configurators. Let's say you need to create a task or opportunity in your flow. You need to remember the required fields and make sure that you pass values to all of them. Can't we give the user a builder interface, a wizard, or a configurator, whatever you want to call that? At least something that resembles the create task action in workflow rules. Number 2, error messages that are not understandable, not actionable, almost encrypted. Have you ever received an error message that does not mean much? You don't understand what is going on and what you can do to fix it. If you get a gag, your only option is to start deleting recent changes or going back in versions. In the meantime, if you don't know what a gag is, ask me in the comments. I'll share with you. Pro tip. Check field level security if you receive an error message around get, update, or create. Number 3, validation rules in Screenflows. Have you ever wondered why the validation rule logic in Screenflows is the exact opposite of what it is in Salesforce Field Builder settings? Unfortunately, I don't think there's a good explanation. I guess this never made the idea prioritization list to be fixed. Number 4, you have a get in your flow that does not find the record. You will get an unrecoverable error if you reference that record variable in your flow after your get element. After the get element, you need to add a decision to check for that. But why? Can we build the null check inside the get element? Number 5, screen formatting options for Screenflows. You can create a screen flow and run your flow on a community page. That's a great use case. The user can access it on their mobile phones. You can also deploy and launch your flow on the Salesforce mobile app. If you have done that, you will know the labels look gray, the letters are not big enough, the borders for the input boxes are in low contrast. You can use some workarounds for some of the components, but you are out of luck with some others. Number 6, choosing resources in Screenflows. You must display field or formula values and maybe some static messages on the screen to the user. You don't have the option of displaying screen field values and make them read-only. You need to use a display text component and drop in those resources. Have you tried doing that with just mouse clicks? It's impossible. You click and drill down to get the field value under a record variable and boom, your selector resets. You have to use your enter key instead of just mouse clicks. But why? I don't know. This issue has been there for years, never got fixed. Number 7, trigger entry criteria. When you are working with trigger automation, you don't have access to many of the field values, and you cannot use formulas to evaluate the entry criteria either. Wouldn't it be nice to use the created date or the last modified date here? How about record type developer name? Number 8, formula builder and formula debug. The resource picker is the only help you get when building a complicated formula. The functions are not available in your picker, like in the Salesforce Field Builder. You have to remember or Google them. And when you have an error in your formula, you only find out about it when you save your flow. You cannot see the error messages in the Formula Builder dialog and there's no checker for it. Number 9, deployment via button. You want to deploy and launch your flow on the record page via a button. Then you must create a quick action in Object Manager to do this. There is also a button option in the Object Manager, but that's not it. Isn't that confusing? And you need to remember to create an input variable in your flow exactly named as record ID with only one letter capitalized. Why all that? Let's make things a little simpler. Number 10, email. There are many ways you can send emails from your flow. None of them are great. One does this use case better, the other one does the other use case better. Can we make all this simpler and give the user just one great way of sending emails out of their flows? That concludes my list, folks. I really want to know what your opinion is on this topic. What are the things that frustrate you most when you are building your flows? Give me your comments below, and please remember to give me a like and a subscription on the YouTube channel. Have a great day.